Hello and welcome again to Healing for the Family. This is a podcast we hope will redeem the place of the family as the basic unit of society. My name is Olunga, and yet again I'm joined by my friend and a friend we have come to love here at Healing for the Family because of the amazing stuff she's teaching us, Pastor Marion of Farm Hope. Welcome again. It's nice to have you.
Thank you.
Nice to have you. Thank you for honoring us with your time and with your skill and experience and just sharing your heart with the audience here at Healing for the Family. The last episode we were talking about the intergenerational traumas in family, and we spoke about how patterns of trauma are repeated. We spoke about some of the things we don't even see as traumatic, but they're actually traumatic, and they affect how or impact how we live our family experiences and how we even end up bringing up our own children. Today, Pastor Marion, I'd like us to talk about sibling relationships. I am a brother, the firstborn brother of 5 siblings. I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. There's a lot of so many years between me and my siblings. Actually, there's about 18 years different between me and my last born sister. My sister, second born, there's about 5 years difference. Our third born, there's about 10. And the fourth born, there is 16 year different. And the last born is 18. I am old. I am old. They are young. I would say I have a good relationship with all of them, or maybe most, maybe most of them. But there are those who are closer to me. I can't remember the last time my second-born sister came to visit, and it could be that it's because she has her own family and she's leading her family now. But I've visited my brother from where? Yeah, from my sister visit. Yeah. Yeah. I think I can't remember when my sister last visited, and it could be because she has her own family. But my brother recently got married. I've visited. He's been married, going to 3 months now. I've already visited him like 3 times. I have visited my.
Is that a bit too much?
For a new. I think it's too much actually, but they love having us over. Me and Shiro and I, my wife and I. My other brother is in university. I went from Nairobi to take him to the university. We are always in touch. So there are levels of relationship.
Yes.
There are levels of closeness and intimacy between me and each one of my siblings. I can't tell you the reason for that. I can't tell you why I relate with my siblings differently. And I wondered, is it possible for siblings to relate with each other to have a same closeness, same level of closeness, same level of relationship with each other? And if you don't, does that mean that your sibling relationship is unhealthy?
It's unhealthy. First and foremost, we want to say that sibling relationships have a history.
Yeah.
They don't just pop up. They have a history. A history of birth order.
Yes.
A history of parenting.
Yes.
And, of course, a history of personal experiences. And I'll start with the last one, personal experiences. We may have been born in the same family, experienced the same things, but they impacted on us differently.
Yeah.
And that forms our story of what our family is about. Is our family healthy or unhealthy? I may think that we have such a healthy family, and my brother thinks, no. That's not a very healthy family. So how, when we differ over that experience that we had, we probably could even have conflict around that.
Yeah.
Personality is where we talk about differences. You're extroverted, I am introverted. You like outdoors, I like indoors. And that could affect, how we treat each other. Then my birth order, I am the eldest. And with this African context, as you're talking about,
yes,
it's like it's such a place of honor.
It is.
It's such a place.
It is. Eh? Yeah, it is.
I'm a middle child. I don't see that.
I feel very respected by. And by the way, I'm not making this up. I feel very respected by my siblings.
By your siblings.
Yeah.
Probably because of your intentionality, because relationships, even with siblings, have to be intentional. You can't be the only one helping. There is need for them to also pull their side of their weight, not necessarily financially, not necessarily in the ways that you are able to do it. So the history of how you were parented, how did your parents deal with you? There were firstborns who were beaten for all the mistakes of the others. There were firstborns who were given the responsibility to discipline their siblings.
Their younger siblings, yes.
There were firstborns who we call were parentified, or children who were parentified. That is, the parent or the parents abducted their responsibility, or were too busy pursuing one thing of their parenting responsibility while neglecting another. So that child does not fit in the sibling relationship because they are a figure of a parent.
They're called deputy parents.
We call them parentified.
Parentified.
As an MFT, we call them parentified children.
Oh, wow. There's
a term.
There's a term.
Yes, they're called parentified.
In the street, children. We just call them deputy parents. I am a senior deputy parent. So parentified.
Yeah, parentified children. Parentified children can have an identity crisis because in their hour of need, when the parents are not there, when they themselves need help, sometimes they may not have an equal in the siblings to be able. They even are not allowed to wallow over what is not working. Because in their heads, they're supposed to be solving the problem. There are the people sometimes who don't grieve over the loss of a parent. Why? Because they are busy trying to do practical things for the family to move on.
Oh my goodness,
So that can hinder or can become a challenge for the sibling relationship because then you do not belong. There are other things in the sibling relationship that may bring about conflict or that may bring about differences. For example, values. If you're a Christian and I'm not a Christian, if you have an addiction and we don't like it and it's been affecting us, so those can be some of the other things. Education levels are a factor that you're not able to go up, you're not able to be in certain places, economic class, because we also find ourselves as families, we don't do well or at the same place, and we can take a grudge, we can throw others out and pull others in. But also favoritism. Parents can push favoritism even into adulthood. I've seen it. I've seen my grandmothers, when one person comes who brings a whole supermarket, they are celebrated. And when the one who comes with their joy and encouragement and support is looked at from the hands of, what have you brought? Like, who are you? The food that will be cooked the day that one comes, and the food that will be cooked the day this other one is totally different.
Totally different.
It's totally different. There's a pride in telling people this one is coming, and no use of telling someone that the DJ is coming. Because who is the DJ really? Okay, I have no beef about that.
You have no beef with DJs. I wanted to establish that.
I'm just realizing it is a sore issue for parents. Like they're like, you'd rather be a mechanic. It's just like parents don't seem to see the arts as a place of making income. So I present it not as a place of...
And you say that because for many parents, making it is...
It's having something big.
It's having a title in front of you, a big title in front of your name. Advocate so-and-so. Doctor, engineer.
So it's what our families expose us. So they also become a conflict even in adulthood. So is there a healthy way siblings can relate? Yes. Is there an unhealthy way siblings can relate? Yes.
Yeah.
The unhealthy way is where grudges are kept, is where conflict is never resolved, it's put under the rug, is where things that did not need to separate us. Like, it's a blessing to have a sibling in a significant role. And it's important for me, as that sibling in a significant role, to see myself as a channel of blessing, rather than a place to amass wealth, a place to use to abuse, a place to use to just be unfair and unkind, and continue to perpetrate favoritism. It is a place where if I observe favoritism from our parents and I don't bring it out, can be a place of conflict. It's a place if the parentified child does not reject the responsibility at some point and say, Mom, Dad, you can't send me to my brother or my sister. Talk to them directly. They're your children.
Yeah.
And also the parentified child to tell the parents, by the way, I'm not going to be sorting your marital conflict.
Yeah.
Let's give you to a counselor. Let's call your uncle. Let's call your cousin.
Yeah.
Get me out of this. Because if you tell me Mom is bad, and Mom tells me Dad is, who am I supposed to stand with?
Because it even gets to a point where the senior deputy parent, the parentified child, it's forced to even begin to parent their own parent.
Exactly.
And that has...
That has detrimental effects because then the parent loses power.
Yeah.
And loses responsibility.
Yeah.
You become the one responsible for them.
Yeah.
So you carry your own responsibility and the responsibility of someone else who's supposed to carry their own responsibility. Yeah.
And the you know what I find, and maybe even from my own family experiences, in that case, the adult, the older sibling or the sibling in that parentified position relates, the other siblings relate to them from the basis of fear.
And that is what I'm
and
saying.
Not respect.
That their sibling relationship will not be equal.
It will not be equal.
Yeah, because they will relate towards them in fear.
Yeah.
And conflicted. The reason for the fear is not because they don't want to. It's because they are conflicted. Now, is Olunga my brother or my father?
The conflict.
There's a conflict in your head. So there's a disconnect. There's a discord. Because you're wondering, okay, now as I talk to Olunga, am I talking to him as my brother or as my father?
Yeah. Wow. I hope my brothers are not. I am your brother.
Please tell them again.
I am your brother. Yeah. Oh, wow. Is there... Because the other thing I feel like in sibling relationships that we have normalized is sibling rivalry. And we talk about sibling rivalry in, this is just a normal sibling rivalry. I want to ask, is there such a thing as a normal, healthy sibling rivalry or are we overextending ourselves?
I think there can be.
There can be.
In this society of constructionalism.
Yeah.
Constructivism. We construct our own constructs. We can construct a healthy sibling relationship or a healthy sibling rivalry. Sibling rivalry is a term that has been used to refer to the strain and conflicts that siblings have with each other, beginning from when they are young.
Young, yes.
It's said that siblings who are closest to each other seem to have more sibling rivalry, because each sibling is trying to assert and differentiate themselves from the other.
And so it's about an identity
formation.
conflict, identity formation that causes the rivalry to exist.
The hope is that it is resolved at some point in life. That's the ideal.
Okay. So the problem is not that there is sibling rivalry.
No.
The problem is if it is unresolved, if it becomes unresolved, then it becomes unhealthy.
Yes.
Okay.
So we hope that by the time siblings are adults, they are able to resolve the conflict.
Yeah.
And there is work that needs to happen in the resolution.
Yeah.
The work of being able to identify that to identify the similarities and the differences.
Yeah.
The similarities, which is what should be keeping us together, is that we are members of the same family. And being a member of my family, you're the person I'm going to look for when I need social support. You're my first rescue team member.
Yeah.
That when I am in trouble, you should be the first person. As families, we need to create a healthy relationship where we can go back to each other for support, for social support. And we know wherever we go, we already have 5 support members. I remember some years back, we were in a constituency in Nairobi, no naming names. And this man vied to be an MP. And there were 6 family there were about 8 family members. And when the votes were read, he had 3.
Not even his family voted for him.
Not even his family voted. So if he voted for himself, who are the other 2? Maybe his wife and one of the So what happened to the other votes?
The other 5. Wow.
The other 5 votes, they still didn't believe in whatever it is that he was about to propose. Maybe his leadership in the house was
tyrannical.
But it is important for us to know that we already have these family members backing us up.
Yeah.
We hope we can resolve the animosity, the competition, the fights. Sometimes the fights move from being physical in childhood to being verbal, to being emotional later in life, to being disrespectful, to feeling we don't need the other person, we are not interested, we are not compatible, we are not valued. So the important thing is to ensure that we resolve
conflict.
Because even as couples, we have differences. Even though we have similarities that brought us together, we have differences. We have differences of opinion. You and I have differences of culture where we are married.
Yeah.
We have differences sometimes even with our careers and the direction, but it doesn't break us. We can actually be able to agree on certain things and still be able to be honest and helpful towards each other. So healthy sibling rivalry, if there's anything like that, I would rather call it healthy sibling relationships, are formed when we grow beyond the rivalry.
Yeah.
We go beyond the conflict.
Yeah.
We go beyond whatever it is that has threatened or is threatening to keep us apart from each other.
Yeah. You know what they told us at our ratio, and even at our wedding.
Yes.
They said to me, because I'm older than my wife and I'm older than her brother. She's the firstborn.
Yeah.
So they told me, now you are the firstborn
exactly
in this family. And I was like, I don't want to take any more firstborn responsibilities. But what you're saying is, now I have a role.
You do.
As a sibling, even to my brother-in-law.
And especially in our context.
And it's especially in the African context, yes.
If you do not take that responsibility, you'll have a stressed wife.
I'll have a stressed wife. Yeah.
Because what stresses your wife is going to stress you.
Yeah.
And
happy wife, happy life. Yeah.
And you are publicly given the role and the responsibility.
Yes.
In some of our cultures in Kenya, in Africa, is that a firstborn woman is not listened to. Or a woman is not. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, we are educated, we are all these things, but
that's true.
If your brother is going for negotiation or her sister is getting married, you may be allowed in the negotiation table, not her.
And not, yeah. Yeah.
So when you choose that, because you, and that's why maybe the definition of family should have been, I should have provided a bit of a definition of family, especially in our context. It includes marriage.
Yeah.
It includes the people we get married to.
Yeah.
Because we also play a role in their lives, and our families and ourselves, our parents, must enhance that relationship. However, we need to know that each system has boundaries.
Yeah. That
I cannot go to with my siblings to discuss my husband.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are boundaries.
There are boundaries.
There are boundaries that need to be respected. And I cannot overstep into my husband's family to make demands over his siblings. He can guide me and lead me the same way she can guide you and lead you to be able to do that. But you cannot overrule or now become abusive, because now, especially where people live close to each other, the boundary conflicts, there are kids conflicts. You know, if I abuse my brother-in-law's kids, by the way, who we live next door to, those are my children. Am I intending to have nieces who are healthy or unhealthy mentally?
Yeah.
So how I treat them should be with the same measure of how I treat my own children.
So Africa, then, the African society is very much into extended family relations.
That system in Africa is very strong.
It's very strong.
Yeah.
And it's very important, even as we get into a modern way of doing things. It's very important to know that culture has a role that it plays in how families turn out, and respecting the extended nature of the African family, and that does include. So you are talking about marriage. You're talking about becoming sibling by marriage.
Your family by marriage.
Your family by marriage.
Is relationships that are created due to birth, adoption, marriage, and decision. We become families also by decision. For example, somebody, a child, an individual comes and has been rejected for whatever reason, and we take them in.
Yeah.
Or like the Kenyan culture, we have a house girl. I mean, I look back, my mom always had at least 2 house girls growing up. We have a house girl house girls who came to our house. They became house girls. Then they went to school. Then they got married from our houses. So we always have a relationship like this. Now moved from being a house girl to our elder sister. So that we never adopted them. They still belong to their fathers and mothers, but they have been incorporated in our family by decision. So when we call them, and there are even friends like that. There are friends that become our friends and become our families because we have done life with them for so long. I have several of those that became my Nairobi family. And eventually now have become my family even when I got married. So when they are not seen around, my mother-in-law asks, so where is so-and-so, where is so-and-so? And I go and tell them, by the way, mom is asking for you. And they make a visit because they are family by decision. Wow. They may not be engaged fully in the family, whatever.
The family business, but they are family. I want to ask, we were talking a little earlier about sibling rivalry and how it can get unhealthy. And I'm just thinking about the role parents play sometimes, and we were talking about it earlier, in perpetuating or building foundations for unhealthy sibling relations. You are telling me a little bit about favoritism,
parentifying the child,
parentifying the child,
Secrets,
keeping.
You tell one kid.
Yeah.
One kid this.
one kid.
And tell them, don't tell your siblings.
Don't tell your siblings. I don't know how many families looking at us that know. Though actually, mom, if you want to get something out of mom, if you want to get something out of dad, talk to so and so because they have mom's or dad's ear. But
or
that
heart.
Or heart. Ear or heart. But that is just perpetuating unhealthy sibling relationship, isn't it?
Yeah.
How is there a place siblings can come to and say, having a healthy relationship? I know how our mom and dad has brought us up, but having a healthy relationship amongst ourselves becomes our responsibility.
Yes.
How do we get there? And especially assuming now that we are talking to siblings that are in the midst of conflicts that have been generational, or even cousins. You were talking in the earlier episode about cousins who are fighting over things they don't know anything about.
They have no idea where it all began.
How do we get to a place and it becomes our responsibility? And what are some of the practical things you think siblings can do to begin to build healthy relationships amongst themselves?
We said parents perpetrate this truth or imaginations of favorite children that bring about negative effects of sibling rivalry through favoritism, through parentifying the child, or just telling them secrets, or calling them home. And I've heard stories where kids have been called home and blessed without the others knowing. Like, it is you have given the blessing. Yeah. This may be even the last born of the middle child
Rebecca
somewhere.
And Jacob.
Blessing them, and then years later you hear, Mom, Dad called this sibling and, did this.
Yeah.
Those favoritism. You do something for this person, you don't do for this person, and all those things. But also, when, children have different personalities. There is a personality that gels very well with the parent. That becomes loved by the parent. And then there is that one who just becomes a conflict-filled personality. And they become such a difficult relationship is created with the parent, and they, push themselves away. What is the responsibility of the parent? Hopefully, before they die, they can realize this, and they can call the children together.
Yeah.
And narratives again.
Yeah.
Begin a new narrative.
Yeah.
Tell them, we made mistakes.
Yeah.
African parents, apologize. We made mistakes.
Yeah.
There are things we look back in our age of wisdom and we realize maybe we didn't help you.
Yeah.
Please, let's be united.
Yeah.
Forgive us, so and so, you're equal to, so and so. Let's connect, let's engage. But then now pass the baton to them and give them that responsibility and tell them, it is important for you people to provide each other a place to hear and to be heard. Look for each other, talk to each other, find reasons to gather around each other. Are there weddings? Are there birthdays? Are there anniversaries? If you graduations. If you have, create family rituals that are healthy and possible and doable. Still have family meetings, family gatherings, even Christmas. There are those traditions that do no harm for us to continue having them. Let's have those Christmas gatherings together. And but also let's have meaningful engagement in these gatherings. Because sometimes we gather and we do nothing. We just gather. And we eat, we gossip,
and then we go.
But we can actually have meaningful conversations. We can also have meaningful games. Monopoly, those games provide an opportunity to bring out character, to bring out, let's have someone share the word of God and encourage. Let's have someone, tell us about life. Let's talk about property. Let's talk about health. I remember during COVID, our older brother-in-law, calling all of us and telling us, you all need to get immunized.
Matter of fact,
not going to be part of contributions because we behaved foolishly. Say we are all born again, but let's not have this foolishness.
Yeah.
That you need not to be jabbed.
Yeah.
You know, and he told us, you pastors especially, you're the people who are always offering services to people, you know, at weddings, at burials, at all this. You're the ones visiting people in the hospital. You need to be immunized. You need to lead us. You need to provide. Because I am not going to be part. Of course, we knew if anyone got sick. But he's saying, please have personal responsibility. Yeah. You know, and I remember the next time we had a meeting, he openly talked about it. He said, I was not just venting online. I am actually telling you what I have observed. It is costly not to do these things. So we educate each other. We support each other. We support each other as kids. You know, we are several psychologists in our home, but we keep telling each other, I'll send my kids to you, I send yours to me. Let's talk to them. Let's, you know, be able to engage them. These are avenues of bettering sibling relationships. That your family, even with the family of where your wife is coming from, and her family, and herself and where she's coming from, can be able to be a support and provide each other an opportunity to be together, to engage each other meaningfully, to have happy moments, share sad moments together, and just be supportive towards each other.
And also, I think also it's a place of recognizing that my sibling is not a better son to my parents or a better sister, a better daughter to my parents because she makes more contribution during needs. when one of our parents are in need, or they are not better human beings because of the latest car they are driving or the latest home they have built or whatever it is that they have, because that results into an unhealthy competition and division, isn't it?
Yes, and sometimes that family can be divided into the haves and the have-nots. You know, your brother, you and your sister can segregate yourselves, or even your spouses can segregate yourselves aside from even the family group and decide that we are like a group on our own. And that creates division in the family. And I like what you're saying, and I agree with it. It is a personal journey. You know, when we talk about inferiority complex, we also talk about superiority complex. And both are dysfunctional. When we think we are so much better than others, we are no better than the person who feels they are so less than anyone else. We all need a healthy balance of viewing ourselves. And as in scripture tell us, we always view others better than ourselves. So it is a personal journey to be able to see myself. I am a sibling, and that's what I was saying. I have been entrusted with some things that my siblings haven't been entrusted with. And that's a position of privilege, not to be abused, but to be a channel of blessing to the society, especially to the family. And sometimes scripture is so alive because it tells us that if you can't take care of your family, then you're worse than an unbeliever.
That's 1 Timothy 5:8.
Exactly.
Wow. I forget the question I wanted to ask. You said some really nice things there. We're talking about recognizing that my sibling in doing better than me does not make them a better human. They are still my sibling. So,
and you're also still a human being.
And I'm still also a very good human being
because there are gifts you have that they don't have, and that are useful in the family. So it's humility for them to accept your gifts, and humility for you to also accept theirs, or ask for their gifts.
You know, there was a point in my life where I dreaded receiving a phone call from my siblings, from home. Because I was like, this is it's just something I need to fix. And it always involved money. Gladly, the Lord has worked on my heart. And now I if I don't have money, I'll just be as honest and say I don't have money for this to solve this particular problem. If it needs money, But then there's a place of also me asking, what else can I do apart from giving money? And I find that this attitude, taking on this attitude, has helped to deepen my friendship, my relationships with my brothers and sisters. Yeah. So for me, it was a change of attitude that cost us to get there. And I guess my question is there a place of changing our hearts in how we view the problems in our sibling relationships? That, is there a place of just going to the Lord and say, change my heart about this? That's one. But as we close this, one thing we don't talk about a lot is the need for siblings to forgive each other, forgive themselves. If self-forgiveness is something that happens, there are theological conflicts about self-forgiveness. Yes. And then forgiving parents, forgiving themselves, and forgiving each other.
And accepting each other, each other.
Yeah.
There is a place for that. As I sit in this conversation, I think the picture of my own family is out there. We were 6 siblings.
Yeah.
Lost 2.
Oh, Paula Sana.
And now we are 4 with very many dynamics. I'm the only girl living. And I come from a community where being listened to as a girl is tough.
Yeah. Are you the first one?
No, I am the second last one.
Oh, you are the second last one.
I'm the second last one. But I am almost like the firstborn for the lastborn because we went to boarding school together, took care of him a bit. But it's been very tough for my personal family. As you talk about, being able to move past our hearts, past our experiences.
Yeah.
It is the ideal. It is the place where we need to be, to forgive each other, to love each other, to accept each other as we are without demanding that another person changes. But it is a responsibility of everyone in the family to embrace that.
Yeah.
I feel with my family, my dad had a very close relationship with his siblings. Like they would hang out most of the time. Even when they got married, they hung out together. And then they brought the families together. But when we started having adolescents, the wife started challenging some behaviors, like open drinking in the houses, because it began to be a challenge to the adolescents. That's why I tasted beer, by the way, in our family gatherings. And our mothers began to say, this is not.
This
and
is
then
not
we
acceptable.
were growing, and our cousins, we were beginning to be attracted to the boy cousins, and there was no responsible behavior around, being taught around with each other. So I feel instead of fixing the problem, the quick thing was, let's remove the beer. And some people, when the beer was removed, when this happy life was removed, they disconnected.
They disconnected.
Actually, it separated the whole. And then in our very own family, we were not taught how to be together. Each of us went to boarding primary school. So we got other friends apart from the families. So we now seem to be looking like strangers in our own families. And maybe I'm speaking to someone whose family is like this, and that's why I'm speaking to normalize that sometimes it's so hard. My mother, from the time we lost my dad almost 10 years ago, has been trying to gather us together without success. And I have been close to her because of my faith, but also my training in knowing that this is what she needs, and also my faith because she also is a woman of faith. So we almost seem like we are, together all the time. We are a coalition against everyone else. And I had to resist being used as a parentified child to speak to them. And I kept empowering her and telling her, do this. But what has kept all of us apart is the feeling that culture.
Yeah.
She's not supposed to lead us.
Mm.
But then whoever is supposed to lead, there are some different family dynamic conflicts there.
Yeah.
What do we need to do? We need to let go.
Yeah.
We need to know that we need each other.
Mm.
Because we actually need each other. And just like you, when a phone call from home or from one of my siblings rings, the first thing I'm thinking is, what is it?
What problem do I need to fix now?
What problem am I fixing? Who is sick?
Yes, yeah.
Who needs what? And an uncle of ours has actually pointed that out.
Yeah.
So can we visit each other without now challenging the rest of the family?
Yeah.
Because his family where he's married, the families there are very close. Very, very close. And he's watched them go through different challenges.
Yeah.
But sometimes the challenges bring us together, and then when challenges are done, it's like we are brought together by programs and events. When the event is done, people go back to their cocoons. Let's forgive each other. Let's try something new. Let's change our attitude. Let's keep trying. I keep trying. I will keep trying. And I'm glad I'm seeing another brother keeping on trying. So when the two of us, and now another one joins, and another one joins, then we can be able to restore the family relationships. And be healthy so that whether our parents are alive or not, whether we have inheritance or not, we really don't need to fight. We don't need to fight, especially for earthly things, that we will all live here. None of us will carry anything. But we can be able to talk to each other, encourage each other, forgive each other, support each other, humble ourselves towards each other, say nice things, not just very hurtful things towards each other. Sometimes some things, let them go.
Not every battle needs to be fought. Wow. It's been nice having you on Healing for the Family, Pastor Marion. I've really, really enjoyed spending time with you and gleaning from your wisdom and experience. I'd like you to look at the camera there and speak to families. Speak to families on the need, the importance of therapy, the importance of healthy relationships, but also speak to families that are in the midst of a conflict now, and just help them in gaining the assurance that with the right attitude, the intentionality and the commitment to making a change, that life can be different. Go ahead.
Can be different. It is such a pleasure having been here to also process my own family through the conversation that we have had. And maybe as you sat there, you felt, I wish my family was different. We choose friends, we choose spouses, but we don't choose family, especially where we are born. A family of origin is very important. And for those of us who are already creating a family in the family that you are forming, we call it the family of procreation, is that it is important for you to set things right, knowing that the family is going to help form your child's personality or identity, and especially self-esteem. It's going to help them be able to understand the world and also to understand and have meaningful relationships with other people, beginning with yourself. Know that the family is the pillar of society. And therefore, we need to reorient ourselves towards building healthier families. Healthy families doesn't mean that we don't have conflicts or we don't have problems. It's not about the problems. It's how we solve them. And therefore, we need skills to solve problems. We need better skills to solve problems and to be resilient. And we need to have commitment. We need to have to be intentional about our relationships. And we need not to give up on each other. Because if a family member gives up on the other, where else are they supposed to go? There was a song called When It's Family. And it's, not a Christian song, but it's a song that tells us we love all. We love all the people that are part of our families. Families need to know that there is help that is available in therapy. We have a number of family therapists today than any other time in this country. And family members can actually seek support. It is okay for you to seek help, because what you tell me, what you tell another therapist is called privileged information, and we are under oath. We are not supposed to share it. And for those who probably may use it even to teach, we disguise it. We add a lot of information so that we keep the confidentiality of that. So it's important for you to seek help. Seek help during times and seasons of difficulties, during loss. If you're having someone dealing with an addiction, if you're having trouble with your adolescents transitioning, if you are having challenges with someone, a family member who's dealing with a marital difficulty, it is important for you to seek support. If you are having a chronically ill person or even an aging parent, it's good for all of you to come together and be able to talk and work. Try make family a good place that your children can remember, and they can look back and say, I grew up in a family where I knew I was loved, I knew I was supported, I knew I was cared for. Take care of yourselves and take care of your family members, because at the end of the day, their joy will be your joy and their tears will be your tears.
Amen. Wow. Their joy will be your joy and their tears will be your tears. That is I've just had an amazing time of interacting with Pastor Marion over the last 3 episodes. Pastor Marion, I would love to have you back on the podcast. I feel like there's still a lot that we can talk about. So I hope my invitation to you accepting my invitation is open.
I'm accepting your invitation.
Asante sana.
This is a beautiful thing that you're doing.
Amen.
I pray and trust that we will not just listen and watch, we will actually do something about it.
Take practical steps.
Yes.
This has been Healing for the Family. Thank you for joining us.